Does that mean a couple open
Yeah,
invites or?
yeah. They got two spots. Just send it our way. P.O.
So you're
Box.
saying there's a
Yeah.
chance,
Yeah. How did getting jiggy with it save your life? Did you get jiggy with it right after? And you're like, all right, I'm good. Like,
we're out of a dark place.
oh yeah,
Exactly. We can give
yeah,
reactions, Sean.
yeah. I'll give
Whoa.
you. Oh my gosh! Yes.
Exactly. Whoa, no way. Welcome back, everybody, to another great episode of Banter on the Rocks. Got myself Tim here today, as well as John, as always. And first order of business, we want to discuss our brand ambassadorship. We are brand ambassadors for Find the Good brand, and Find the Good is focused on the good and building a community of people who want to help find that good. For all purchases, Find the Good gives back 10% to Mental Health America organization. And when you order, use our promo code BANTER805 and you'll receive 10% off that purchase. So that's 10% for you and 10% back to mental health. Remember to use BANTER805 for that 10% off. And the mission for Find the Good is simple. Find the Good is here to get you through the bad days, the breakups, the ups and downs, and whatever else stands between you and a smile on your face. And today is Tuesday, August 26th, back to back Tuesday shows.
Mm-hmm.
I did some traveling last weekend. John's turn was some traveling this
Yep.
past weekend. Hope it was fun, buddy.
Yeah.
But
It
here
was
we
good.
are.
Good.
Good,
It
good,
was
good.
hot. San Diego.
Oh,
Back in anime territory as always.
oh man.
But
That's right.
no, like I said, t taking the kiddo to some theme parks, having fun, while the weather was still good. So,
Good.
like I say, San Diego, fun city. Padres, not so fun. Um,
Yeah.
I think a lot of them were talking smack this week on some of my, old clips of Dodgers because, we got, I don't think we got swept. I think we won one.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
you could call it a gentleman's sweep, but talking how they're better. Uh, once you win some World Series, we'll talk. But till then,
Yeah.
yeah, just stay quiet.
Whatever they can do to stay relevant, right, John?
Yeah.
Yep. Take the little series, and make it a big deal.
Yeah.
And on today's show, we are going to be discussing, of course, starting with our banter takes as always. And then we're going to dive into a lot of fantasy football and some NFL news. NFL is back, it's upon us. Fantasy football is as
Hmm.
well. I know a lot of fantasy drafts have started so far, but our league is going to be taking place this weekend. Super
Hmm.
pumped up for that. So we will do some fantasy sleepers that we have as well. And to get us started here, I do have, I'll go first with banter drinks of the week. I am actually having some red wine today. Bought
Nice.
some over the weekend with the family visiting for
Yeah.
Ariel's birthday. My daughter turned 3 this past
Hmm.
weekend. It was a great time. Bought some red wine. Believe it's pronounced Mayomi.
Okay. I don't think.
And it's good. It's tasty,
Nice.
flavorful, a little sweet.
Yeah.
But good stuff. Yeah, I
Okay.
really like it.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Wine. Like I said, we do everything. I'm sticking to the old classic, Jack and Coke. Got back from my trip last night. Today was cleaning, laundry.
Mm.
When you come back from a trip with a kiddo, you gotta get everything prepped and then back to work, so it's been busy. So I haven't gotten creative, but Jack and Coke, it's hot right now again.
Yeah,
So it's always refreshing.
for sure. No, I hear you. I know I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now, but it's been boiling here as well. So,
Mhm.
uh, questionable choice. See how it pays off
Yeah.
from cotton.
No, yeah.
But yeah, no, good, 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 good. I know how
Yeah.
that is though. Getting
Yeah.
back, chores to do. I have a
Yeah.
chore here right now. Noticing Jordan got a little crooked there.
A little crooked.
Keep it in, John. Keep it in. I want
Yeah.
everybody to know. Pay attention to the details.
Yeah, no, we always pay attention to details here on Banter on the Rocks, with our takes,
Yep.
with our, feedback, and with our show, So right now we're going into our banter takes. As always, we're also going to go on to TikTok Live, every recording day, usually on Monday, like Tim mentioned the last 2 weeks. It has been on Tuesdays, but after this week, I think we might be getting back on Monday. We'll see. Might be another Tuesday, possibly next week.
No, I think next week,
Yeah, you'll be
Monday, I'm
back.
still going to be down in LA. No, no, no. I come back
Oh,
Tuesday, so we could
okay.
probably get a show going Monday. I think that'll be
Yeah,
fine.
well, we'll get a show in Monday. So
Maybe
back to our normal.
a little outdoor
Yeah,
setting for me.
yeah.
Be okay.
But we'll be back to our regular scheduled recording time. So join us then. But as always, our banter takes. This is where we each drop hot takes we haven't seen before. We're gonna defend them like they're gospel and let the chaos unfold. And for those that have been following us for a while, you could see some of the chaos we cause with some of our banter takes. Some are very bold, some are outrageous, some are very accurate and come true within a week or two. If you saw our show last week, some of the things we were discussing have been happening already. So, but all of our takes are guaranteed to sort of just stir the pot, and until proven right or very wrong, we're gonna roll with our banter takes. So, gonna send Tim the invite to
Perfect.
TikTok,
Got
and
it.
then gonna get Tim's take.
Yep. And that's right. We stand by these. We don't back down. We'll even, banter on, the
Yeah,
comment section until
yeah,
it's proven wrong, like John says.
yeah,
It's important. Stick
yeah.
with it.
And then sometimes you guys banter with each other on the comment sections, which we also, are okay with. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been funny at times, seeing those bantering, but they're very accurate. Everybody has good points. So,
It's a family affair here at Banter.
yes.
It's good. We all get involved. Get involved.
Yeah. So my first take, the Call of Duty trailer was the best advertisement Battlefield could have imagined. Yes. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, check it out. For me, that trailer made me be more excited for Battlefield. I don't know what it is with the wall running, the futuristic stuff. Like that doesn't do it for me. Um, and when I saw the trailer, I think I sent it to you, and I was like, lame. I truly didn't like it. And then seeing all these streamers, you know, hyping it up, saying, "Oh, this is the best game ever." Oh, like when they were doing the wall jumping, like they all like got so excited, like they just, did something so and I'm trying to be PG here, but I was just like, man, that's just so whack. 'Cause there were some other streamers that were very accurate, they were all acting like they were excited, and then they're like, nope, let's go to Battlefield,
Yep.
So I think, Call of Duty, this is that wake up call that you guys are no longer the front runners for, first person shooting, these war games. I think Battlefield has come back, is bringing it back to the old Battlefield, and it's what we all enjoyed. They're not going to do the tier system, hopefully. Not going to have us do all this stuff to unlock skins, unlock guns, just good old gameplay, and I think the other thing we talked about a few weeks ago that I still think makes Battlefield so much better than Call of Duty is, the anti-cheating. I think we're letting Richie know, hey, don't be bringing that over to Battlefield. Do it on those Call of Duty servers, but
Yeah.
not Battlefield. So yeah, I think this was the best thing for Battlefield. They could probably go without dropping anything else, until release date, because Call of Duty did their whole advertisement and made it the top game upcoming until GTA.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's I feel like the Call of Duty trailer was everything we don't want
Yeah.
It was just like, how can we make the current
Uh,
Call of Duty a little bit worse? And they
uh,
do a great job at it. Like,
yeah.
I feel like they're at the bottom of the pile, but they just keep digging a further hole. It's actually, I feel like it's pretty unbelievable, how they can keep
Hmm.
doing that. The wall running, the sideways wall running that everybody was like, oh wow, like we could
Yeah.
easily do that reaction video and just cheese it up for a bit because it's just not realistic. It looks
Yeah,
so
it's not.
lame. A lot of people hate slide canceling,
Hmm.
but no, let's go ahead and add wall jumping. Like it just
Yeah.
looks horrible. The trailer looked, just not even fun to even try a campaign on it, in my opinion. It
Hmm.
looks like more of the same, and it's kind of blah. But
Hmm.
again, I feel like this is kind of like, a gift basket delivery
Yeah.
for Battlefield. And they're just thrilled for it. And I've seen plenty of memes where people would watch the trailer, cut it
Hmm.
off halfway through, and then go and pre-order Battlefield
Yeah.
6. And it was just the funniest thing. And then kind of touching on some of these, streamers that have a large following watching the
Hmm.
trailers, having those reaction videos. I think the first meme that came to mind for me
Hmm.
was the nerd alert from Austin Powers because it's like there's no way they think that that looks enjoyable,
Hmm.
a lot of, I think, those gamers, at least one of them I know for sure, I think has been like accused of using a Cronus that was in that video. So it's like, they love it because the cheating doesn't go away
Hmm.
and they continue to use it. And then at least Battlefield, makes a point to
Yeah.
have, bring actual skill to a game. And the way Battlefield plays, the large maps, the buildings breaking down, all the realism there.
Hmm.
It just looks so much fun. Like
Yeah.
it just looks like you can be fully immersed in a game and then have a ton of fun with your friends squatting up. Like it looks like the first person shooter we've been missing for a long time. So, um, really excited for that to come out. It'll
Yeah.
come out at a time where, the weather's going to start changing a bit. It'll be
Hmm.
good to be indoors. Sun goes down sooner. More of the reason to start gaming a little bit more. So, all in all, Battlefield has everything good rocking for them.
Yeah.
And the game looks sick.
No, yeah,
Stoked.
it looks like it, and like I say, now thinking about it, because it's been a while since I really saw the trailer, because it came out what, like last week or something. Like I think right the next day
Yeah, about
after
a week ago.
we recorded the our last episode, and when I
Yep.
saw it, like it reminded me they were doing like some Inception stuff. Like I think it was like L.A. where it was like twisting or something, like the buildings were above you. And I'm like, what is this futuristic shit that nobody really wants, you know? We don't care about climbing on buildings like that, you know. What we care about is the gameplay, having fun, something realistic, and, the robots, all that AI stuff. I'm like, yeah, just not for me at all.
Yeah, it's like you're playing a game in Inception. It's like,
Mhm.
what if a kill streak is an Inception, and then that flips the map upside down? You have to like
Oh,
run inversely or something. Like it's gonna be
yeah.
ridiculous. Like I feel like that's what they're gonna bring to the game. It's gonna be so
Mhm.
obnoxious, and then the one person with that kill streak is
Yeah.
gonna have aimbot just running around just clowning everybody. And oh,
Yeah.
that's a game. Richie's gonna love it though. Like you said, you know, his his
But,
cheats are not going anywhere.
uh,
And this we're totally legit talking about Richie right now. We know he's a cheater.
I'm gonna crack up if after like this week his account's like banned because of all this shit
Yeah.
we're just talking right now.
It's so
He's
funny.
probably listening to us like, shut up, you guys.
Yeah. Quiet.
Yeah,
It's so
no,
good
but
though.
but but
Good
like,
banter.
yeah, no, good banter. But like with this take, it's also like a lot of us and a lot of people, even though the big thing is streaming games, that's how a lot of these younger people are making money. But there's a lot of us casual gamers that just want to go with our friends because we're a lot older. We've all moved away and want to have fun. And the way the new Battlefield is set up, it's not, you have to learn how to play those skills, those types. And it's where with Call of Duty, but with Battlefield, it's just you just jump in and play the same game you've always played. You don't need to learn how to slide cancel. You don't need to learn how to, wall jump. You don't need to learn how to work AI or invert yourself to kill someone the way you're gonna have to in Call of Duty, where I'm not gonna have time with my 2 days a week that I might be able to go gaming if I get the chance.
For sure. And I'm thinking, I feel like we like comparisons on this
Hmm.
podcast, John.
Yeah,
If I were to compare Call of Duty to a movie franchise, it would be Fast and the Furious.
yeah.
Just how ridiculous it's getting. I feel like it's the perfect player comp, you
Hmm.
know. Eye for an eye. It's yeah, one movie set, you grapple to a
Hmm.
train and
Yeah,
you don't rip into, you just
yeah.
casually like have a scratch and then you run sideways like you just mentioned in Call
Uh,
of Duty. Perfect. Yeah, same
mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you think about it, it's a great comparison, Tim, because Fast and the Furious, the first few, great. Everybody loved them.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
we all, the first few Modern Warfares, Call of Duties, that's why we all kept on playing with it. And we were always hoping, and we're still gonna go watch the new Fast and Furious that comes out in a year or two because we're
Yep.
hoping it goes back to that old school. They're saying it's going back to the old school, and Call of Duty's been doing that for years. It's like, oh, we're bringing it back to how it was before, and then psych, not, you know.
Exactly. And all they have to do, John, is just, like Fast and Furious, I feel like kind of gets it. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, we passed the point of reality. It's now becoming Marvel
Hmm.
universe and
Yeah.
something crazy. Call of Duty, literally all they have to do is just go remaster uh Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare 2. That's all they
Hmm.
have to do. Just
Yeah.
remaster it, release it, and their sales would go crazy.
Yeah.
And Rob joined the live on TikTok. He
Okay.
says Dom has superpowers. That's exactly right. It's Dom has superpowers. The Rock, just
Yeah.
their fighting scene when they're punching through brick walls. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so unrealistic. It's
It
ridiculous.
is. It is. So we'll see. I do think Modern Warfare handed this, gaming genre battle to Battlefield because of that trailer. And like I said, we'll see. Modern Warfare is going to be paying people to play it. So kudos to you if you're going to get paid to go play it. Hopefully you really do enjoy it. Hopefully you're playing fairly, but yeah, you'll catch us in Battlefield. That's where we'll be.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But shout out Call of Duty. I know we just kind of crapped on the game. If you guys want to pay us a little bit,
Hey, if you pay me to play it and you want me to stream it, give me the money. I'll be on there.
yeah.
Like I say,
Like
I'll
I
be
said,
on there.
exactly. We can give
Yeah,
reactions, Sean.
yeah, I'll give
Whoa.
you a... Oh my gosh. Yes.
Exactly. Whoa, no way.
Oh
It's gonna be so good.
man.
Oh, we'll cook
Uh,
with that, man. That would be so
yeah.
good. Shout out Call of Duty. Do your
Yes.
thing. Okay. Moving on to the next take here. Find my good reading zone here. All right. So rumor has it that Rajon Rondo is the top flag football QB. If he is the QB to lead the Olympics and win, he will go down in the history books as a top in the USA. That's crazy. I had not seen this.
Hmm.
Hell of an athlete, though.
Yeah.
And, he's a guard. I feel like if you're a guard in the NBA, you're like the perfect size for a quarterback in the NFL.
Hmm.
He could bring dual threat. I don't know the QB sneak rules in flag football that they'll
Yeah.
have, but, if you get rushed, I'm sure you could, run to evade.
Hmm.
Five Mississippi. I don't know. Imagine they do
Yeah.
that. Tell all countries to say five Mississippi. But realistically, I feel like if he has an arm, he clearly has the agility.
Hmm.
He has the endurance to do this. It would be absolutely incredible. Now he has won a gold with Team USA as well, correct?
Yeah, I think
So
so.
if
Hmm.
if he multi-sport gold,
Hmm.
that's a deep dive.
Yeah.
Multi-sport gold medal winners, if it's ever been done. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'll check it out right now.
Okay.
But
Well, while John's doing some research on that, I got to check out some highlights of Rajon Rondo throwing some dimes. Because he clearly did it on the court and he could absolutely do it on the field. But yeah, if NFL doesn't really want to
Hmm.
commit to the whole flag football thing and they kind of have to look elsewhere for it, get Rajon Rondo at QB. Let's get
Hmm.
LeBron James at tight end or wide receiver. Then he could
Hmm.
join in with this, win another gold in a different sport as well. Um,
Yeah.
get Michael Phelps in there somewhere. He's a big
Yeah.
Ravens fan, throw him in
Yeah.
there.
No, for sure. So there's a few examples.
Oh,
Esther Ledaki, she, I think it's a female.
okay.
I'm just going off of the name. I apologize if I get it wrong. But won gold medals in alpine skiing and snowboarding in the Winter Olympics. So that's a Winter Olympic game, but won it in two different sports.
Cool.
Carl Schumann, 1896, won gold medals in
Wow.
both gymnastics and wrestling at the first modern Olympic Games.
Timeout.
Yeah,
1896. Are they just competing in all sports though?
maybe.
It
Maybe.
could be,
It
cheat
could be.
code.
Yeah.
Hey, props to
2020.
him though. That's pretty
Yeah.
badass.
No, yeah. 2024, Oksana Masters, a Paralympic athlete, won gold medal in paracycling, cross-country skiing, biathlon, and rowing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. And
Jeez.
then Eddie Egan. I'm trying to think.
Hmm.
Okay, this might be someone else. The only athlete to win gold medals in both the Summer Olympics, boxing in 1920, and Winter Olympics, bobsledding 1932. So, very
Okay.
few to have won in multiple sports.
What was the most recent one out of that?
Um, the Paralympic one, but like I said, that's a little different than the Olympics.
Sure.
Um, Esther, but that was Winter Olympics, not the Summer Olympics. So Carl Schumann, 1896. Or
Wow.
yeah, because Eddie Egan, one was Summer Olympics, one was Winter Olympics. But still,
Wow.
like I said, not taking anything away from any of these athletes because winning two gold medals is already an achievement in its own. So kudos to them.
It is. So Carl Schumann, 1896.
Mhm.
Carl Schumann, one of the most 1896 names I've ever heard. Shout out Carl though. That's
Yeah.
it's a badass name. It's a great athlete's name.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, regardless, it sounds
Hmm.
like this would be a huge deal.
Yeah.
Granted, yeah, flag football's a new sport to the Olympics. Can get really competitive,
Yeah.
between flag football and then you got 40U
Yeah.
tackle football. Put us out there for a game, John.
Yeah.
Future vlog idea. That'd be
I'll be a
crazy.
kicker. I'll be a kicker. I'm
Be
a
a
guy.
kicker. There you go. Every team needs one.
Uh,
But yeah, no, it's a huge deal. Again, I want to watch some highlights of him now.
mhm.
Um, yeah, Rajon's got a lot going for him. Good for him because his son is really talented at basketball
Yeah.
too, and he's an up and comer. So yeah, props to Rajon.
Yeah, no, I saw that today, so that's why it sort of came up and just sparked. And I was thinking,
Hmm.
and I'm on the same boat. If he's the one that takes Team USA to the Olympics in flag football and they could win it, he's going to be one of the top athletes in the USA because, like you said, he has won a gold medal with, basketball, USA,
Hmm.
Team USA. Will have a gold medal with flag football, which I'll say it's a sport played everywhere because I think it was I don't know when I saw the clips or when it happened, but Mexico just won the female flag
Hmm.
football championship. So it's like,
Hey.
it's an international sport. Shout out to that, the female, Mexico team for winning. So it's a sport that a lot of countries are going to take very serious because, NFL's going worldwide. They're playing in Sao Paulo, Europe, Germany, England. Where else are they playing? I feel like they're playing somewhere else this year.
Brazil,
Brazil, Germany,
Mexico,
England,
Germany, England.
Mexico. Yeah,
Nothing Asia, right? Not
no,
yet.
not yet.
No.
But like I said, it's building. There's a lot more international games now every single year. So Rajon Rondo will be in the history books and also an NBA champion, with the Boston Celtics, so
Yeah.
his resume is a deep one. And like I say, from what I've read and a few things in the little bit of time I had, he's rated the number one QB in the US in flag football.
Really?
Yeah.
So he plays pro flag football at the moment.
I don't know where he plays, but it's like he is ranked number one from some of these reports.
It's pretty
Um,
good. Nice.
yeah.
So what happened with that guy that claims he's better than Mahomes?
I don't know. Rajon Rondo came and just sat him on the bench, probably.
Step aside, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Props to RAJON, just
Yeah.
conquering a sport all of a sudden. Man, that's a big slap in the face for that guy, though.
Yeah.
He made that his life, and then RAJON Rondo, oh, what do I want to do in retirement? Let's
Uh,
play some flag football, and then just becomes the best QB in the sport. That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Props to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Props to
I'm
him.
reading. This is from. Oh, this is a weird one. I don't want to read off of the. Like I say, nothing against it, but for me, it's not a legitimate source. It was Times of India. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, could be questionable.
yeah,
While you were searching for that, though,
yeah.
quick thing on Mexican flag football. I believe Baltimore Ravens tight end Mark Andrews went to Mexico, if I'm not mistaken, and
Well,
took a football to the face. He missed it. I
okay.
think it hit him in the face.
That's not a good look
Uh,
for us.
Pretty sure it was him, especially after last season, the end of the, the final game.
Yeah.
I think it was him. Sorry, Mark Andrews, if that was not you. I think
Mhm.
I'm 90% sure it was him that got hit
Yeah.
in the face. Sorry, bud.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, there aren't too many stories out there about the Rajon Rondo. It just happened today. There's some people trying to do their digging. There's not real surefire evidence, but like I said, people are talking about it. And if you look at him, I saw a few clips. He's on it. He's pretty good. You know, good
Yeah,
accuracy. Could be the Tom Brady of flag football.
I like it.
Um, we'll see,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I think it's pretty cool for him. And it might be something some of these athletes do that sort of thought that they could play football. The NBA players playing flag
Yep.
football once you retire. Who
Yep.
was it? Jimmy Graham. A tight end. You
Yep.
know,
Yep. Antonio Gates. A lot of tight ends.
Antonio Gates played basketball.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
LeBron James. Hey, there you go, LeBron.
LeBron.
Start a flag football league in the U.S.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect. If it doesn't work out for Bronny could lead that team.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, good frame. 6 foot, what, 6'3", 6'4", good wide
hmm
receiver length,
Yep.
you know, could do it. I
Yeah.
can see it.
You could do it. So yeah,
Legit.
but something to look in. Wait to see a little bit more. We're still a few years away from the Olympics, but it'll be interesting to see once that team gets picked if they're gonna bring NFL players because it's still how is it gonna happen? Are they gonna have
Yep.
competition with everybody? You know, because we see it with the NBA or with basketball. NBA players are automatically the first ones there. They don't have tryouts.
Yep.
So how's it gonna work for flag football?
Yeah, they should. Do we have a head coach of the flag
I
football
don't
team
I,
yet?
I don't think there is yet.
I think I think whenever you choose a flag football coach, you just hold open try or not an open tryout, but
Yeah.
you hold tryouts for all,
hmm
professional athletes that would like to compete in this,
Yeah.
and then just let them duke it out, but televise it because I think we'd want to watch that. It'd be kind of
Yeah.
badass to be like, LeBron James versus Justin Jefferson, who
Yeah.
can catch, better.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, clearly it'd probably be Jettas for that, but
Yeah.
just the thought of like, I don't know, just getting a
hmm
whole bunch of crazy good athletes out there
Yeah.
competing to, playing a new sport for
Huh?
America, I think would be pretty badass.
Yeah. Imagine Rajon Rondo passing to Justin, Jay Jettis.
Oh, that'd
Or,
be sick.
it'd be the one pairing that you would never imagine,
Hmm.
you know. Or
Yeah,
or,
totally.
say the quarterback is Patrick Mahomes the way he says he sort of would want to do it. Pass it to LeBron James, like and winning a gold. That'd be insane to sort of see.
That'd be so sick. Yeah, you just get
hmm
multi-sport athletes out there. Any baseball players?
Mm,
Maybe QB, but you have RAJON
uh,
Rondo at QB, so what's the point?
yeah, it's a hard one, you know. Eh, Like I said, we talked about it. Baseball players, are they the most athletic? Some of the positions, catcher maybe,
I got
might be
one.
yeah.
Cal Raleigh, big dumper. Put him
Yeah.
at center.
Put him at center. He'll block.
Yeah, he's got yeah, he'll block well
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. No, we'll see. R rumor has it Trent Baalke's the GM for flag football.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Had to throw that
If
out there for you.
if that's the case, he's just gonna have Trevor Lawrence at every position. You know, throughout, Tim
Yeah.
Rattay, in there for some random position as well. Just totally screw it over. If you could
Yeah.
find a way to screw up American flag football,
He would.
Trent Baalke would do
Yeah.
it. He'd say,
Yeah.
"Step aside, hold my beer.
Yeah.
I'm Trent Baalke. Here I come to fuck it up." Trent Baalke, if you ever want to come on as a guest, I'd love it.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk.
I heard he's free. He might be available now. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think he has a lot of free time from what I've seen. I
Yeah.
haven't seen much of him, that's why.
Right, right. Oh man, good stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out, Trent.
Uh, but yeah, I think that's all we were going to do for banter takes today.
Yep.
We have a lot for the show, so as always, agree or disagree, let us know in the comments what you guys think of our banter takes, your thoughts, your feedback. Who do you want to see on US flag football and what do you think of Battlefield versus Call of Duty? Which one are you going to play? What do you think of the trailers too? Which one really cooked you? Um, but
Mhm.
yeah, we'll get started just with our NFL takes. And we're hitting 1 year mark for our show pretty soon. Um, and last year we had our hot take that we ran with for the entire NFL season, and this year we're gonna do the same. We're gonna have a hot take that we're gonna roll with for the season. And I don't know, you want me to go first, Tim? You want to go first?
I'll give you the lead spot here, John.
Okay. All
Go
right.
ahead. Yeah.
So my take, and I'll do a little explaining to it. Tampa Bay will be in the Super Bowl behind Baker Mayfield, the MVP of the league. This
Whoa.
is gonna be a year for Tampa. I think they have a good thing. Bucky Irving, I think, is finally the legitimate number one running back. That's gonna be the workhorse there. Baker Mayfield, after a great season last year, I think they were very close to being able to make the Super Bowl. I think they had the team to compete against Philly. Um, but it was the experience, injuries. But I think they have a squad this year. Their wide receivers, Mike Evans, still Mr. Reliable, always good. Um, I'll talk about very quickly because this other wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka, a guy. If you've been watching the show, I've been raving about him. You know,
Hmm.
for quite a while, and that was one player I wish would have dropped to the Ravens because he would have been perfect for our team. I think he would have been great for your team, and even for the Chargers, for Fidel's team. So I think they had, and their defense is still outstanding, I think. So my take for the year, Tampa Bay will be in the Super Bowl and Baker Mayfield will be the MVP of the league.
I really like that take. I think that take is great. Yeah, Igbuka looks insane. I
Yeah.
think that he's the perfect addition to a team that could be pretty pass happy, but at the same
Hmm.
time, they have a great run game that they can
Yeah.
rely on with Bucky Irving.
Hmm.
That division, ultra winnable,
Hmm.
ultra winnable. There's no reason for that division to really be that close. Yeah,
Hmm.
Falcons will hang in there a bit, but the bottom two of Saints, Carolina. I just think that those should be easier victories for
Hmm.
them. You touched on it. I think the defense, still looks good. Um, and Baker Mayfield, I think the take with him, winning MVP, I think I could definitely see it happening. I think Baker is going to have yeah, I think the best season he's had yet. He has the most weapons. Chris
Hmm.
Godwin can take his time, come back and be healthy with,
Hmm.
an addition of Egbuka.
Yeah.
and it's just, it's just cherry on top to everything. I think that
Yes.
I think it's going to be a great force over there. The coaching, is stationary at least.
Hmm.
There's not new heads in there.
Yeah.
It's been pretty formidable. There's no big changes, drastic changes. Outside of Jacksonville getting their coach from one of the coordinators, but
Hmm.
the stability I think is going to be really good. I think that's something that Baker didn't have a whole lot of at all with Cleveland. I think that's
Yeah.
really evident for anybody who watches football. So Baker re-solidifying himself. He has that comfortability level, and I can even think back to like the game they had against the 49ers last year and just how elusive he looked.
Yeah.
The playmaking ability of Baker, like you might think like, oh yeah, pocket passer, but no, like he can hang in there, he can
Yeah.
take hits, he's durable. I think Baker's gonna have a phenomenal year.
Yeah. Yeah. He just looks so much more confident and just that top draft pick, Cleveland, we could talk about Cleveland. It's just a dumpster fire.
Mhm.
Everybody they draft, unless you're a defensive player, if you're on the offensive side, you're not going to get developed there. You're going to have to leave to maybe rejuvenate your career. So him, he had to travel after Cleveland, went to the Rams and now the Bucks, and I think it's the best place for him. I think he's going to do well, and yeah, Baker Mayfield MVP.
I like that. I like that. No, very, very realistic take there, John. Um, All right, move along to mine. I feel like there's a better chance at this one happening compared to my Chicago Bears winning division, taking the playoffs last year. But I won't. I will say this still remains a pretty hot take, not necessarily simmering. But all right, my hot take taking it to the AFC East, and I think the New England Patriots will win that division this year. Yes, over the
Hmm.
Bills. I think Mike Vrabel alone has the ability to
Hmm.
do this. I think Tennessee made one of the worst decisions they possibly ever could have because he was not the problem in
Yeah.
Tennessee. There was a zillion other problems going on with that franchise, and Vrabel was not one of them. But he goes back to where his playing career obviously took
Hmm.
off, and he had an incredible playing career there. And I think that the offense behind Drake May, I think Drake May is really going to come out and have a really
Hmm.
good sophomore season. I'm pretty high on him. I think he has great ability. Even on a lousy team
Yeah.
last year, I feel like that there's really good glimpses of what Drake May can do. But then you add, a guy like Stephon Diggs coming in and, can be, just a huge addition coming off an injury
Hmm.
for sure. But I feel like the talent will always
Yeah.
be there, and I think Diggs is a great,
Hmm.
person to have. And then the running game. Ramondre Stevenson doesn't have to take it all, under his belt. Travion Henderson is there now.
Hmm.
I think that he is going to probably outshine Ramondre in my opinion.
Yeah.
They've added to that offensive line, I believe. I feel like it's a team with a lot of grit as well. I know it's
Hmm.
a generic word to use, but I think Vrabel brings in that factor, and that can come even from him jumping in on player skirmishes in practice and busting his head open. Like the dude is just hard nosed in the way he coaches. He's obviously a player's coach. Like
Hmm.
he knows what it takes. He knows what it takes to win. He did a lot of it in New England, and I just think that he can really take it over.
Yeah.
The defense I think will quite frankly be a little underrated, and sticking in that division altogether, Jets hot mess.
Hmm.
It's pure chaos. Well, I won't call it as hot mess as it's been in the past because I think that they have a lot better coach now. Justin Fields, good for fantasy. Don't know how
Hmm.
he's going to be, as a team altogether. I I just don't think the Jets are a competitor yet. And then you have a team like the Dolphins who are arguably a little bit of a bigger
Hmm.
mess at the moment. Tyreek is a big question mark. I don't know how, well he's made men's there. And then the coaching, you have a coach that is on the hot seat. I don't know how long
Hmm.
McDaniels is going to be there. Um, and then and then the Bills. Bills are
Hmm.
obviously going to be the biggest factor. Josh Allen, absolutely incredible. I will say it, hand up. did a lot more with that team last year than I ever thought he was going
Yeah.
to. And I just think that just speaks to how talented he is and, very deserving of an MVP in my
Hmm.
opinion. But yeah, that's the biggest factor. But if, God forbid, injury, something goes a bit haywire, I don't think James Cook is going to have quite the season he had last year. I think
No.
that, there's some other factors there that could make, I guess other players around him a
Hmm.
little bit better. But I feel like the Patriots have a good chance. And if it's not this year, it could be in the next couple of years. I think that they're
Hmm.
trending in such a good direction, but I do think that this year they could win the AFC East.
Yeah, no, I think the same, and like I said, not just because I'm sort of married into Boston sports teams, through Vera. But
Hmm.
Mike Vrabel is a big difference maker. I looked up his stats, when he took over the Titans, first year 9-7, was third in the AFC South. And then 2019 to 2021 made the playoffs, all three of those years. After 2021, I think that's the year that after that season's when they traded AJ Brown and sort of just gave up on the
Yeah.
team. It was like, they were just they didn't set him up for success where I think in New England they're setting Vrabel up to succeed and they want the Patriots to be that winning franchise again, just like when Tom Brady was there. You want to go back to winning championships and Vrabel's the guy to do it. Drake May looks like he could be a franchise QB. Um, you mentioned it, Stephon Diggs. Yeah, coming off an injury, but still, it's Stephon Diggs. You can't take him out of the conversation. Look at Calvin Ridley. Still, a big, a big piece in Tennessee. Even though they suck, still a wide receiver that you'll pick up early in the draft, compared to other wide receivers because of the name and, because of the skills. Um, and then the running game, they have Trevion Henderson. That guy looks like a stud.
Hmm.
Not a sleeper because he's already. I'm drafting him where I think a lot of people are drafting him, so not too big of a sleeper, but a good difference maker. Um, but yeah, I like it. I think Vera will like your take, Tim, because New England fan after Tom Brady left, she's been down, in the dumps,
Yep.
waiting for a change, and this could be the change that these New England fans need. So, and yeah, that division, Josh Allen, I think I'll admit it as well. I didn't think he was going to be that great last year without any weapons. I thought that they were going to struggle, but Josh Allen did everything. Can he do it 2 years in a row? I don't know.
Yep.
That's a lot of work for him. Um, James Cook, touchdown dependent. That's the only reason he had great stats because he had so many
Hmm.
touchdowns. I don't think he's going to have it this year. Keon Coleman is going to have to step it up, I think, for the Bills to
Yep.
do well, but I still think New England could take that division. The Jets, I like Justin Fields. I've always been a Justin Fields fan, so I hope they do
Hmm.
well, but that's still a very a very unknown environment, so we'll see. And then what is it? Miami? Miami's in that
Miami.
division.
Yep.
Miami. Tua's just a big question mark. I
Yeah.
still don't know why Tua's playing another year.
Hmm.
If I was an owner, I would tell Tua like I'm gonna release you because I don't want that on my hands if anything else happens because we've seen too much go down. And kudos to him wanting to still be a baller, putting his life out there for the team. But there's a lot more to life than just winning a Super Bowl and winning for your team when your health and your family's, livelihood is at risk.
For sure. Yeah, it gets
Mhm.
scary. I mean, there's obviously a lot of chatter of that, last season when
Hmm.
a lot of those crazy injuries continued to happen with the head trauma. And
Hmm.
it's so iffy. It's not good. And then just the off season, it seems like it's just occupied by, McDaniel's just odd comments here and there. Just saying one day closer to death. It's like you seem thrilled to be there, but and then Tyreek Hill making some sort of a locker room apology that Tua didn't
Hmm.
seem to fully accept. So, he's kind of trained to be a
Hmm.
leader, telling him, he's got to earn his way back into it. Wide receiver room, Waddle's obviously very
Hmm.
good, could have a great season. And then the running backs, A-Chain,
Yeah.
hopefully he can stay healthy. He's been a little banged up so far, but I don't think it's anything too major yet. But you just kind of hope
Hmm.
you wish them the best, but there's just not a whole lot of hope. And I think that the Patriots can
Hmm.
run away with something. And then, just even looking at the Patriots wide receiver talent, uh, obviously Jalen Polk, unfortunately, since last week, this is
Hmm.
a big injury, season ending shoulder injury that, I believe he's going to need surgery for.
Yeah.
Put him out for the whole year. I think that there's quite a bit of news with him last season to
Hmm.
hopefully perform. But this season, you're kind of really relying on that.
Hmm.
But the wide receiver room, Matt Collins was a good addition. This past season.
Yeah.
I know Vrabel loves looking at him walk barefoot everywhere, and his t-shirts that he brings. I've seen some clips. It's pretty funny. But Kendrick Bourne, former
Hmm.
49er, he's a good talent. To
Yeah.
kind of complement Stephon Diggs. Keyshawn Boutte.
Hmm.
Hopefully I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah.
And Demario Douglas, possible wide receiver threes
Hmm.
that could,
Hmm.
stretch the field a little bit more for him. There is
Yeah.
talent there, and I do think
Yeah.
Drake May will take advantage of it.
Yeah. Tight end too, Hunter Henry, a guy that I
Yep.
think was supposed to be the guy in San Diego, or I think he was still in San Diego when the Chargers were there before,
Hmm.
so Austin Hooper, also veteran guy there. So, and then I think they also updated their offensive line too, so that's a big good piece. So, um, yeah, I'm excited to see the team. Like I said, I support, and Raven fans may hate me, but I support them through marriage. If my team's not in it,
There you
I
go.
always supported Vera with the Patriots through marriage. She did the same. The few times the Ravens were there, and the Patriots weren't, she supported, through marriage. So through marriage, you support a lot of stuff that you might not like. You
Yeah,
know.
hey, same thing with Jen and the Dodgers. It's pretty
Oh yeah.
brutal.
Oh,
A lot of banter goes on,
you should have
but
seen us Dodgers Red Sox World Series. That was bad. That was brutal for
oh, I
me.
bet. I
That was
bet.
brutal for me.
Yeah.
And we were in Hawaii too. It was
Oh
brutal.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Silent
I don't
fist bumps. Fist bumps.
Yeah. Oh no, they weren't silent. And then trying to hang
Yeah.
out with her the rest of the weekend
Oh
at the
man,
beach
brutal.
is a little
Yeah. No, I
no,
bet.
but fun times. But okay. But I like the hot take. I think that's also I think both of these hot takes could actually, come to fruition and hey, maybe they'll both see each other in the Super Bowl.
That's right. Hey, imagine. It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, two different conferences could happen.
Yeah. But yeah, those are our hot takes. Like I say, I didn't one I'll sort of say I was gonna bring up before this week, but then some of the news came out. I was gonna take my Raider hot take again, that they were gonna
Yep.
make the playoffs, but Jacoby Myers requesting a trade means something's going on in Las Vegas, and it sort of scared me to run it back, even though I think they still could have a solid team. But that news sort of made me pull back and not want to run with it again. So all those Raider fans that were probably expecting that, sorry. Better luck next year. Um,
Yep.
and then the Chiefs. After today's news, I think we know what NFL's game script's going to be for the entire season. But I wanted to go
Yeah.
differently, so I'm not gonna, I didn't say that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of Chiefs takes, and I feel like they're all factual and relevant.
Hmm.
We'll stand by them pretty good, even with the Rashi Rice stuff that we talked about.
Yeah,
And I want to clarify one thing on that too, John.
yeah.
We kind of talked, about Rashi Rice, the delay of his suspension puts it back to September
Hmm.
30th, and that's if he gets suspended after that. There's no
Hmm.
ruling that's,
Hmm.
exact on that date. It doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
have to happen then. And then we brought up the schedule, and a lot of, Chiefs fans,
Hmm.
because the way that they were bantering seemed that way, had mentioned, what are we talking about? Weeks 9 through 10 are difficult. How does that help them? But you just got to, it's in there. It's in their
Hmm.
question, of Rashee Rice is available for at least four of those games.
Yeah.
So it's a guarantee. If he was suspended right off the bat, then, the four games, then, he's not made available. And sure, maybe that's a little bit
Hmm.
tougher. Quite frankly, I don't really know why they'd want that. I'm sure they want him available at the end of the season,
Yeah.
but frankly, if you look at their schedule, the end of the year gets a lot cushier for them after like week 10, after their bye
Yeah.
week is cakewalk territory.
Yeah.
And it's really not that difficult. So,
Yeah.
again, NFL, stir in the pot, stand by that take.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, he's
And,
got to think
and
about it.
and I think one of the things I mentioned to you, because you were, I was reading the comments with you, we were talking about it. Like,
Mhm.
yes, weeks 9 through 10, what is that? That's Commanders, Bills, Broncos, Colt. What are these people talking about?
Yes, you're reading it. It's like, what?
Wait, Bills and Commanders, that's a lot tougher than
Giants are tough.
Chargers, Eagles, Ravens. I'm not putting the Giants in there because I know that's the easy win for them, most
Right.
likely. But like the
Hmm.
one sort of rebuttal to those Chiefs fans saying that other week is like you're gonna have to be going against the Chargers and Ravens for playoff spots,
Yep.
and having a win against the Ravens is gonna boost you up if you guys are tied with the same record. If you're in that wild card race and so are the Ravens, you have that win against them, that boosts you up above them, and you could eliminate the Ravens from the playoffs.
Mhm.
So what are you talking about? Yeah, the one tough game will be the Bills. And then you could say the Broncos. We are pretty high on the Broncos, but still, compared to the Eagles, Chargers, and Ravens, only team I see after week 4, Bills, Lions. Like I say, that's NFC. It's not going to make a difference for you when it comes to seeding.
Yep.
So, but not Bills,
Yeah. Hmm.
Commanders, Broncos, Colts, get Col Colts in there.
Right. In the
Cowboys, like
Oh, it's a
Texans. Oh
toughie.
my
Look
gosh.
out. Yeah. But see, that's where, like, we could bring up something like the NFL implements only Patrick Mahomes can be two-hand touched.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't tackle him, two-hand touch.
Hmm.
And then, all their quarterbacks can still be hit, but two-hand touch only for
Hmm.
Mahomes. They would argue and say, oh, how does that help us?
Yeah.
You know, he
Yeah.
can still be touched, you
Yeah.
know? And that would be their argument. I
Yeah.
feel like that's what we'd get out of that because yeah, any delay of a suspension is a
Yeah.
win.
It's a win.
I just
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it. Like I understand they may feel that those weeks are harder. I doubt it because, like I say, you're playing the Chargers. That's going to be who you're fighting for that division. I think we
Yep.
mentioned Chargers were going to, one of our hot takes a few weeks ago, Chargers were going to win that division.
Yep.
Then you're going rematch of the Eagles. Eagles are a strong squad this year.
They
You
are.
know,
They are.
they just keep, I don't know how the Eagles do it, honestly. How are they still adding these players that you wouldn't expect them to be able to sign, but they're still doing it.
Right.
Giants. Sorry, I like the Giants, but they're just not at that level yet. Maybe after this year, once that team gets settled in a bit, they'll
Yep.
be a lot better future years. And then the Ravens, like I say, Ravens were always a tough team, and then after that, you got the Jags. You get suspended after that game. You got the Jags. You could win that without Rashee Rice. Lions,
Yeah.
that might be your one challenge, but the Lions, we'll see how their defense, has recovered from their injuries.
Right.
Um, Raiders, not really concerned with the Raiders. And
Hmm.
then Commanders, you know, it's the
Yeah.
Commanders. Nothing against the Commanders, like, but it's the Commanders, like, and
It's a whole lot of
Chiefs.
hype. It's a whole
Yeah,
lot of hype, and they're
yeah,
judging it based off of hype.
yeah.
It was one good season,
Hmm.
but there's no guarantee,
Yeah.
and
Look,
they haven't
look what
done it
happened to
consistently.
yeah. Look what happened to the Texans after CJ Stroud. He was supposed to be the next
Exactly.
big thing. Last year he blew.
Right.
This year might be another resurgent year for him. But I
Yep.
say, yeah, the Chiefs fans, like I say, and just take it. Own it. if that was my player, if that was Derrick Henry, of course I want the court to get delayed. I wanted to
Yeah.
go to the end of the season and let him play in the Super Bowl if we make it to the Super Bowl, and then suspend him for the next year. Let us win a Super Bowl, you
Yep.
know, because our window is closing, and let's be honest, Chiefs window is closing.
Yep.
With we could talk about it a little bit. Today's news with Travis Kelce. Kudos to him. Congrats to him, Taylor Swift, for getting engaged.
Yep.
But I think the agenda for the NFL, I think our take from last week might sort of come, or I don't think it was a take, it was a discussion,
Hmm.
where Taylor Swift's going to perform at halftime, and hey, maybe that's the wedding day too, halftime wedding.
Hey.
Hey, imagine,
Yeah. Take a little bit
imagine,
longer.
imagine the views NFL gets because
Yeah.
everybody will watch it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, he'll go out there wearing like a Letterman suit, like a Letterman jacket suit, and then put it on Taylor Swift on their way out, you know. Yeah, just according to her, just a PE teacher marrying the English teacher.
Yes.
So nice.
Yeah.
No, but shout them out. Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
big fan. Travis Kelce, I am a fan. I
Yeah.
like the Kelce's. I think that they're very down to earth.
Yeah.
But just unfortunately, he plays for the Chiefs. You
Yeah. And like
know.
I say, if it gets announced that Taylor Swift is Super Bowl halftime show, just give it to the Chiefs already. They're going to do everything in their power to get the Chiefs there because
Hmm.
Taylor's not going to perform if the Chiefs aren't there. She'll cancel it last minute,
She'll
you know.
cancel it, and then they'll get like Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
She's a stick move.
Bruno Mars, I think he's always on standby.
Rumor, yeah, he is. He needs to be. Like you said
Yeah.
last week, the
Yeah.
debt. He
Yeah.
owes,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay, I could
a
help
little
him.
bit.
I could help
Yeah.
him quite a bit, but Travis Kelce with all this, I I hope he doesn't have a bad year because of this distraction.
Hmm.
We talked about it last week. You mentioned that a lot of stuff that was going on last season, podcasts, movies, TV shows, everything was a bit of a distraction, sort of threw might have thrown his, rhythm off to a season. This is a good way to maybe start it to sort of get this out of the way and not think about it the rest of the season, but it's also going to be a big distraction because everybody's going to talk about it every week.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's going to be great. And then the distraction will be, all of a sudden Chiefs are somehow 14-2. Which, another quick thing going, the reason why I bring up
Uh,
14-2 is Rich Eisen, I believe, chose them to go 14-2,
Okay.
well-known sports
Uh,
name. And then I believe he had the famous actor from Modern Family. He's a
yeah, Chiefs
big
fan.
Chiefs fan.
hmm
Just his name is not on
Eric
my mind.
Eric's
Eric Stone Street. There you
Stone
go.
Street, right?
My
Yeah.
bad. Yes, and he chose them to go 14-2. And
hmm
I'm just like, just a lot of the wins that they're choosing. I'm like, just seems so biased. That's how I fill
hmm
out my 49ers schedule.
Yeah.
And yeah, only I can be biased.
So, so there's
No, it's fine.
they're only predicting two losses. Let's see if we could figure it out. Chiefs
Okay.
Chargers,
That's a win, they would say, because
they would say.
divisional. Yeah,
Okay, I'd give him this first one.
okay.
Eagles Chiefs.
Win. Rematch revenge.
I
Super Bowl revenge
I think it's a
tour.
loss. For me, it's a loss.
Oh, are we filling it out like our
Yeah. On our
oh,
like
gotcha.
we'll look at where they think, but it's also what do we think,
My bad. No, what I think,
Yeah.
two L's right away.
Two all I
Yeah,
give
I'll
the
take
Chiefs the
Chargers.
first one. I give the Chiefs the
You
first
will?
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think they'll split? Are they at home? Is
Yeah,
that at
yeah,
Arrowhead?
I think it's at home.
Of course, the first game's at home.
Yeah.
God. Yeah,
Ye-
okay. We'll go 1-1. If it's at
Yeah.
LA, then I'll go Chargers, quite frankly.
No, let me see.
Because Chargers
Oh
went
no,
to
they are at LA. So I was reading it
okay.
backwards.
I'll go Chargers at home. I will.
Chargers are home. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we agree on that, John? Can we agree? I
Yeah,
think they'll split it.
I could do that now. Not because
Okay.
I had it opposite. I thought Chiefs were at home. That's why I gave Chiefs that one.
Chargers are
But
not good in
no,
yeah, no, they're iffy at Arrowhead.
because they're playing the Chargers again in December. That's the cold.
Oh
So
yeah, no, they're screwed for
yeah.
that one, man.
So Chargers will take the first one. We
Okay.
imagine they pick that one as a win for them, no matter
Sure.
what.
Sure.
Eagles Chiefs. So the Chiefs are at home. Yeah, I could see this as a probable win for them.
Okay, so 1-1.
Mm, yeah, they're 1-1. Chiefs at Chiefs at Giants. I
That's
got
a
the
win.
Chiefs. That's a win.
Yeah,
Ravens at Chiefs. This is a coin toss for me, but I'm gonna give it to the Ravens.
yeah, I'll
I
second
think
that.
almost revenge game. Sort
Yep.
of that toe catch.
I heard they're
We're gonna
gonna white cleats.
yeah, yeah, it's all white. Yeah.
Yep.
We got to see what they paint the lines. If it's red, we'll wear red
True.
cleats.
True.
So that's what 2-2 right there.
Hmm.
So we already got two losses 4 weeks in.
I like it.
You know, Chiefs Jaguars. They're in Jacksonville. That's a win. It's three
That's a
and
win.
two for them. Lions at Chiefs. I
I'll go
give that.
Lions.
Yeah. You go Lions. I give that to the Chiefs.
Okay, give it
Yeah.
Chiefs. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go consensus Chiefs.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah. Raiders at Chiefs. That's a win.
Yeah. So 5-2 so
5 and
far.
2. Commanders at Chiefs. I
You
think
go
that's
Chiefs.
Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs with that.
Okay, 6-2.
Uh Next one, Chiefs at the Bills. Give that to the
Go
Bills.
Bills.
Go
Yeah,
Bills. Yeah.
go Bills.
So we're already
Six
one
and
one of
three.
6 and 3. Chiefs at Broncos. I think Broncos take
Uh,
this one at home.
at home. Yeah,
Yeah, Broncos
yeah,
are at home.
agreed. Yep.
Yeah, mile high. I don't think they'll win it.
Nope.
Colts at Chiefs, and supposedly that's when it's a hard part of their schedule. So
Yeah.
without
That's where it
Rasheed
gets really
Rice,
tough.
yeah, it's gonna
Oof.
get tough, you guys. It's gonna get tough.
Yeah, Danny Dimes.
Danny
Look
Dimes.
out. Oh boy.
Colts at Chiefs. Chiefs got that one.
Yep.
Cowboy or Chiefs at Cowboys.
Another tough one.
Yeah,
Man,
I still give it
look
to the
out.
Chiefs, even though they're in AT&T.
Could see that game being
It could
high
be close.
scoring.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
close, high scoring, but I still give the Chiefs the edge just because of
Yeah.
quarterback. Texans and Chiefs. It's December 7th.
Are we thinking CJ come back here?
I'm thinking CJ come back here.
Mixing a little healthier?
Yeah, he'll be a lot better by then. I think Texans take that one.
Okay. Yep.
Chargers at Chiefs. I think they lose. It's just a cold game for the Chargers.
Yeah.
So Chiefs win that one.
Okay. I'm
Chiefs
tallying
at
these.
Chiefs at Tennessee.
Ah, Tennessee might take that division.
Yeah, but I still think the Chiefs probably win that one.
Yeah. Squeaker. Real
Yeah,
close. No biter.
yeah. Broncos at Chiefs.
This is tough. I'm gonna go ponies twice.
Yeah,
I do think the ponies can beat them twice this year.
yeah, yeah. They can. And then Chiefs at Raiders.
Ah, what
A,
an easy game to round it off.
easy game to round it off. If they're fighting for playoffs, they'll have an easy win. If they're already eliminated, they're gonna lose it. If they're number one, they're gonna lose it. So it's a toss up, but we'll give it to the Chiefs.
Okay, so we got 11-6.
So for difference, so I think the one games they think they're gonna lose are, what do you say, Bills and Ravens, maybe?
Yeah,
Those
that
are the
was
two they
one.
pick.
I did see that was one.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then the Bills probably.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sure was.
yeah. But yeah, like I say.
No, I think what they did, John,
Hmm.
is they did that Bills loss, but then
Hmm.
they won all the way to week 17. And by that point they were 15-1, I believe it was.
Get
And
out of
then they're
here.
like, "Oh yeah, all the starters will be benched
Get
and they
out
don't
of
have to
here.
play."
Get out
And
of here.
the ghost of Carson Wentz will come in and, you know, they'll lose that game. It's
Oh
so
man.
stupid. Yeah.
Uh,
And that's I mean, we can dish it out to Chiefs, but we still, give them a good modest record here.
mhm.
11 and
They're
6.
they're still playoff bound, and like I say, and when it comes to the playoffs, anything could happen. So, like I say, they can make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I do think they make it into into the playoffs, but I think not probably in the wild card. I think Chargers take that division.
Yeah, I do. I do too.
Mm.
I think the Chargers will be a better team. I would love to see the Chiefs finish third in that division, though. I would love it. Broncos get above
Yeah,
them too.
yeah,
Man,
that'd be
yeah.
that'd be bitter,
Yep.
bittersweet for them,
Next.
but sweet for us.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be good. Told you so.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, we got to do
yeah,
something fun
yeah,
for that
yeah.
episode end
Yeah.
of the year if that
And
happens.
Chiefs fans, like I say, we're the only reason we're talking about this is because you guys are bringing it up. 14
Yeah,
and 2, let's be realistic, you guys.
right,
Let's be realistic. Like I say, if I go through my Raven schedule, I will be honest and realistic about it. You
right.
know, with what I think is going to happen, and we're going to go undefeated.
So, yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
so you heard it here first.
You heard it there first. Uh, more accurate. NFL fantasy, giving you your draft, recap record,
Hmm.
or Eric Stone Street filling out a Chiefs schedule bracket.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, easy, 15 and 2.
Yeah.
God.
I think I'm always ranked like a D or F with fantasy, and I still end up winning those years. So
Yeah.
I don't care if I get ranked. I don't want to be an A if that's the
Yeah,
case.
you don't want anything over a D plus, I feel
Yeah.
like. It's like you're good if you don't,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's Chiefs. And I think the one last thing with the Chiefs, and not even Chiefs, but Travis, Taylor, all that news. Um,
Hmm.
I was thinking about it. I was like, it's the wedding of the year. A lot of people are talking about it. Everybody on social media is talking about it. But who's DJing that event?
It's tough.
If you had to pick someone right now,
EJ. We're going like we'd have to go,
or
to somebody pretty big.
let's say like a DJ and then one performer, someone playing songs.
Um, let's go. Oh God. Let's go with Diplo.
Okay.
I feel like he's, just an ultra popular,
Hmm.
can
Yeah.
just throw it down at a wedding type,
Yeah.
celebrity, ultra, royal celebrity
Yeah.
wedding.
I feel like him and Travis Kelce probably already know each other
Oh
pretty
yeah.
well.
They'd catch a
So
vibe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah. I was thinking Calvin Harris.
Ooh, good one.
Just because he's one of the biggest stars that cost so much to book, and this is going to be the biggest event of the year.
Yeah. Would you
Would
get Ellie
never
Goulding
happen.
there?
Maybe.
Look at what
Yeah,
you've done.
yeah, yeah. And then performing, I don't know who'd perform. Like I was trying to think, like who would be like a live
Taylor Swift.
performer. Taylor Swift, like who? What does
Gracie
she do?
Abrams. Just get all of her pre-acts in
Hmm.
there, her openers. So Gracie
Yeah.
Abrams, go and get Ed Sheeran. Shout
Okay,
out Ed.
that'll be a
Taylor
good one.
Swift.
Hmm.
He was the opener, and we were like, "Who's this guy?" Skipped him.
Yeah, like hey, let's
What-
go get some drinks. Who
Literally
cares
what we
about this
did.
guy?
Yeah, literally what we did. It's like, just
Let's
only
go
became
eat.
one of the biggest
Let's go.
pop
Let's go.
legends ever.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
crazy we
how it
did that.
happens. But yeah, I am curious to see. I who knows when this wedding's gonna happen. It might be 2 to 3 years from now, but I'm curious to see who will be the DJ because you always need a DJ at a wedding. The live bands are good,
Yeah,
performers are good, but every now and then you just need DJs to be throwing out some great tunes and hits.
absolutely. Couple quick points though. You think Bad Bunny gets invited? Do you think they built good camaraderie on the set of Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, that could
Yeah.
also be a performer. Rumor has, like I say, this is our new segment. You could call it Taylor Watch a little bit,
Yeah.
a little Taylor talk. I rumor has it he might be doing one of the songs is with Bad Bunny in her new
Ooh,
album.
very nice. I like to hear
Yeah,
that.
There's a
Great.
lot of these TikTok videos showing why it seems like it might be Bad Bunny collabing with Taylor. So I
Nice.
think if they do, yeah, we'll be there.
If they do that, they got to do the joke and have Travis Kelsey fire Bad Bunny after the performance, just as a joke, because of what he
Yeah.
did in Heavy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Gonna have to fire him.
Yeah.
That'd be really great. If they
Yeah.
need hype people, just separate from the Chiefs, big fans.
Yeah. Big fans. Yeah.
Just fly on the wall kind of
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll
Yeah.
interview. And then sorry, one last thing.
Hmm.
Maybe arguably, very, very important question here, John.
Hmm.
Do we think, God, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds get invited?
Oh, that's
No shout out from her today, by the way. I, I,
no.
I think she
Yeah.
did not.
I haven't seen anything
Yep.
yet. I haven't had a chance to be on social media the last few hours or look at anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say no.
Yep.
I'm gonna say how everything has been going, the names that have been thrown out there in this. I like I say, there hasn't been much news about the Baldoni Lively that we've been covering, but
Right.
because of what was going on that included Taylor and not so great, I think she's gonna pass on inviting them, and hey, I would pass too.
I agree. So
Hmm.
does that mean a couple open
Yeah,
invites or?
yeah. They got two spots. Just send it our way. PO
So you're
box,
saying there's a chance.
PO box in our description. You know where to send it.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can set us in the furthest table. Give me a black tie. I'll wait for your wedding as well. I'll be a waiter.
Absolutely.
And
That'd be a real
and
joy.
yeah, Travis Kelsey could fire me halfway through too. I don't really care.
Be hilarious. We throw like a hissy fit. So yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. But
Oh
no,
man, good
shout
stuff.
out shout out to both of them. I think we're excited. We mentioned it last week. We're fans of both of them.
Yeah,
Chiefs, it's a different story, but as people, their content, music, we've enjoyed it. Our significant others enjoy it, and a lot of people we know enjoy it. So we support them. So I'm excited to see where
yeah.
how this goes. Wedding of the century. But yeah, that's some of the NFL news. Any other NFL news, Tim, before we move on? Um,
Jake Moody. Um, sorry for the vulgar language. You can beep that out, John. Um, I made that video clip, thought it
mhm.
was pretty funny. I shouted him out, said, wish nothing but the best for him.
Yeah.
Again, I know it's preseason. It's way too early, Jake Moody slander. I feel like at this point in time, but I'm already, I just can't help myself. Instantly, first kick of the Chargers, game, he misses it. He shanks it wide left. It was unbelievable. Right after I shut him out. Oh God. Oh hell no.
You put too much pressure on him, Tim. You put
I
too much
did.
pressure.
I did. I
Uh,
did. Man. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's he's got me
he
feeling moody.
he's got you. He's the starter though, right? He was he announced on the 53
He
man.
won. He won.
Hmm.
Yeah, he won that. Anybody else available?
I don't know. I don't know. Here, I'm reading one day ago. Mason Crosby believes 49ers will have kicker Jake Moody on a short leash. Crosby, we mentioned that 2, 3 weeks ago.
Could it be more
Uh,
obvious?
yeah, come on, man.
Unbelievable.
A little late for that one.
He's
Um,
looking for a job too, huh?
yeah.
Or do you finally retire?
I think he retired.
Huh.
I think he's just reporter, talking about kickers, which
Oh,
hey,
very
he was
cool.
decent.
It was
So,
good. He had his run.
yeah. But yeah, Jake Moody, you know. I'm excited for my team. One of our rookies got torn ACL, MCL, so unfortunate for that on our defensive side, and
Oh.
already a tough sign, but not one of our starters. So we're still
Hmm.
okay, but it's still something you never want to see, especially out of these promising rookies that we're going to be part of that 53 man roster. So
Right.
but excited for our season. Ravens, I think will have a good year. I'm excited to see what we have. Uh, I hope Hopkins is almost like that Stephon Diggs talk we had, where he is that reliable person, which I think he will be.
Hmm.
Um, Not the big difference maker we probably need, but someone to sort of show Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman how to be a great wide receiver.
Yeah, because he's shown it,
Hmm.
and God, I forgot you guys had him. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah, you guys are going to be a force. It's a good team.
Yeah.
Oh, and then how can I forget? Niners made an absolute fleece of a deal for Brian Robinson Jr. I will say that. I am still super stoked on this. And Brian Robinson, he's ready. He already
Hmm.
said first presser came out and said him and CMC best duo in the league. Instantly.
Ooh,
Best duo in the league. So look out, Gibbs and Montgomery.
I was about to say
Step
Sonic,
aside.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah.
What would CMC and Brian Robinson be?
Ooh, well, there was some running memes for Pearsall and Robinson Jr.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, because unfortunately they were both shot. I don't want to make super big light of that.
Oh shit.
But one of the memes
That
was
didn't click in my
they had
head.
the Drake. He had all the bullet holes
Mm,
in his sweatshirt, and they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, Pearsall and Robinson Jr. entering the field," and it was just like, God.
Oh man. These
But
people.
hey, hell of a story for both of them.
Yeah.
And
No.
what competitors I have big hopes for Pearsall this year too.
Hmm.
But I I think it's wonderful news for
Hmm.
CMC, and I think it's really good news for Brian Robinson Jr. I think that we are going to know how to use him,
Hmm.
and I am super stoked. And we only gave up a sixth.
Yeah.
What a freaking deal! I wish we would have handed Moody in there somehow. Shut up, Jake Moody. Sorry, but you guys need a kicker.
Yeah.
You
You
got
never know.
backup.
Okay. Yeah.
But
No,
yeah, no, it's a
that was
great
a
deal.
good one. That was a great deal. Yeah. Yeah. No, Fidel mentioned it, your guys' insurance, and it's like, hey, it might be insurance, it might just be a duo,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's gonna help you guys, especially with that offense, the wide receivers.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, exciting time of the year coming up. We're at the
Oh yeah.
beginning of the season next week. And as we mentioned, a lot of fantasy football leagues are starting to draft. A lot of them have already drafted. We're drafting this weekend.
Oh yeah.
We've already gone over QBs. We've gone over running back, wide receivers. I don't like going over tight ends because I don't pick up a tight end until very late.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts, you're my guy because everybody's going to skip you. I'll get you in the 12th round probably. Um,
I heard he's gonna go like first overall.
and, uh, someone will do that probably. uh,
Accidentally. That
but
was Bijan Robinson.
uh, but
Whoops.
I think this week we're doing our top sleepers, and for me, when I think of a sleeper, and you tell me what you think, Tim, is I think of these players that are gonna be a difference maker that you're drafting a little bit above their ADP of where they're normally getting drafted.
Hmm.
Um, that's gonna make a difference for your team. That's gonna get you the points and win you that championship. So. We'll share our top five. No particular order. This is just our top five. Um, but I'll start, and my first one is Jaden Higgins, the wide receiver from the Houston Texans.
Oh,
Uh,
goodness.
no Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell's gonna be out for the year, so it's just Nico Collins, and like I say, the rumor has, Joe Mixon's gonna be coming in later in the season. I read somewhere. Nick Chubb not looking that great, not explosive, not having the same speed before the injury. So they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to be relying on CJ Stroud. Nico Collins eventually is going to get double coverage. So Jaden Higgins is going to be a big piece to really get you those points in fantasy.
For sure. Nope, like that one a lot. Let's see. I'm gonna go. We talked about him briefly, real briefly earlier, but I'm gonna go Keon Coleman, as a
Hmm.
sleeper. I think that he could be somebody that you could go up and snag maybe a little bit early. We talk about the possibilities of, a down year for a guy like James Cook. If they decide to air it out a little bit more
Uh,
because running game isn't working quite as good, Keon Coleman could be up there for, a good season. And Matt Collins isn't there anymore. They're just going to have
mhm,
to rely on a lot more of, Keon Coleman this year, second year, there with the Bills. And I think it's his time
mhm.
to really shine.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think Keon Coleman, this could be his breakout year. He's not in my top five, but he's on the border of it. So, my next guy I have on my list, Jaden Blue, running back, Dallas Cowboys. Um, it's the Cowboys, the Cowgirls. They need help. Javonte Williams was their pickup. Was very promising. I don't, maybe the changes scenery will really help him. But if it's not him, they have Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is just too old. I don't think he's the same Miles Sanders when he was in Philly. So I think Jaden Blue, I don't know if it's Jadon Blue, uh, gonna be the guy. Texas running back. Texas went a few years with some of these top running backs. That's where Bijan's from. So I think he could show the same promise Bijan has, probably not at that level, but close to it. So Jadon Blue, I think, will be a good late round stash to hold.
I like that. Yeah, been seeing his name out there quite a bit. So we talked about him a whole lot earlier. I don't know if he's really relevant for a sleeper. Is Emeka Egbuka? I know he's on a team with really big names, but I just feel like he could step up and be, he's not necessarily that much of a sleeper, but I
Hmm.
feel like he's a guy that you could get higher than where you
Yeah.
would think about
Hmm.
getting him. I think he's going to give Mike Evans true competition in a pass heavy offense. What could be a
Hmm.
pass heavy offense. We
Yeah.
talked about Baker Mayfield possibly having an MVP season. And I feel like, he could step into such a
Hmm.
big role and easily go over 1,000 yards this year, especially
Exactly.
depending on, how much time Godwin's away.
Hmm. Yeah, I have him as a sleeper because I think if you pick him up probably 2 to 3 rounds earlier,
Hmm.
yes, ESPN, NFL, Yahoo, all these leagues, they're gonna grade you really badly. But I think overall in a fantasy strategy, perfect pick,
Yep.
earlier than what his ADP is because they're they're gonna be throwing quite a bit. So I think he's a total sleeper because there's gonna be a few people that pick him up a little earlier than his ADP. I will be one of those if he falls to me in a spot I feel confident and don't feel confident with many others. I will pick him up a lot earlier than what he's probably going to be drafted. Um, so yeah, I would consider him. I had him on my list. Another one that I think might be high for some people, may not be a sleeper, but for me he is Roma Dunze from the Bears. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna finally show up and be that number one uh, guy there. It's time for someone to take over the young people, in Chicago, and I think he's gonna have a great year. Year two, I think the first year he was just struggling with route running, connecting with Caleb Williams. 1 year under their belt together, I think this is a guy that also, like I say, many people might not think of him as a sleeper, but you pick him up 2 rounds before his ADP. I still think it's great value. I think he's going to be the guy.
Yeah, no, it's a guy that, was really big heading into that draft. I can see him definitely
Hmm.
coming out having a great year. Um, I'm gonna go next sleeper up. Really has gotten quite a few eyes, I feel like, this preseason. Torrey Horton, wide receiver, Seattle. Obviously,
Hmm.
Seattle's made big changes with that wide receiver core this past offseason. Jackson Nahigba is obviously going to be arguably the number one there, and then you have Cooper
Hmm.
Cup, but then you have Horton who just flew up. I believe he was battling with MVS, Martez, Valdez Scantling.
Hmm.
Um, beat him out for the role, and he's just
Hmm.
drawn a lot of eyes. I think that he's a great talent, and a guy like
Yeah.
Darnold stepping in there
Hmm.
that could be very pass happy again because you're relying on maybe a guy like Charbonnet leading that backfield if
Hmm.
there's a lot of injuries with that running game consistently.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I've seen him going up pretty high. Uh, Another one we talked about this team, but we didn't, and we you mentioned him. But Kyle Williams, wide receiver, New England. I think
Hmm.
this is a team that's gonna make that big bounce with the new coach, Drake May stepping up, and they need that person next to Stephon Diggs. And I think Kyle Williams is gonna step up because Polk is injured. Uh, you know, the other people, Boot, Demario Douglas, great players, but I think Kyle Williams is the guy to pick up in that team.
For sure. Um, Next up, I'm gonna go Jawan Jennings. I feel like he is a player that obviously got a lot of eyes last year with the injuries to Ayuk.
Yeah.
Debo, missed some time here and there, didn't have the season anybody thought he would. But Jawan was just always, really consistent.
Hmm.
He's a guy that is known as third and Jawan with us
Hmm.
because he's so reliable in clutch situations.
Yeah.
He just always seems to make those big catches. And Ayuk, I believe he's, listed probably to be out, till week
Hmm.
6. Seems like the biggest spot he'll make a comeback. No Debo there anymore. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's a guy that wants to be paid, but he's I think well on his way. He's expected to be available week 1.
Hmm.
And I just think Jennings is going to have a great season. So somebody worth keeping your eye on.
Yeah. In the next one, I, I don't think he's much of a sleeper anymore now that I think of it. Um, but I'm still gonna say it.
Yeah.
Omarion Hampton, um,
Yeah.
from the Chargers, running back. I think he's going up a lot higher now in drafts. But when I was, pre-draft, probably like 3 weeks ago, I think he was going maybe like third round. But now for me, for me, he's a late first, depending on how many people you have in your league, to second round for sure. You got to draft him. Just because the Chargers, Trevor Lawrence, or not Trevor Lawrence, what am I always, Justin Herbert is gonna need that help. The wide receivers, they got some great players, McConkey, um, and then with running backs too, Najee Harris. Still, I have you heard much of Najee?
It's such a weird situation. It seems so secretive. I
Yeah,
have no idea what's going on.
yeah. So because there's so much question marks with Najee, I think Omari Hampton, he's gonna just take a lot of the snaps and he's gonna show why he's a top running back. And like I say, picking him up, and the other reason I call him a sleeper for me is because it's gonna depend on what your league does. If everybody goes running back heavy, you have to pick them up early.
Hmm.
Because if you try to do the hero wide receiver way, you're gonna be stuck with absolutely nothing in running backs after that. Um, I think after Omari and Hampton, like I say, Kenneth Walker is a little question mark. Alvin Kamara, Brees Hall too. A guy that was probably a
Hmm.
top running back the last few years now has fallen because of his backup,
Yes. Brevin, right?
So Braylon Allen,
Braylon
there
Allen. Yeah.
there's a lot of guys, so you need and like I said, I'm sort of giving this away to if our draft, people are listening, you got to draft running backs early because if not,
Yep.
the wide receivers, there's a lot of good wide receivers at the end. So that's why Omari Hampton for me is a sleeper because you want to pick him up earlier than what his ADP is because if you try to wait till that round, you're not gonna get him.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and I had him on my list too, but I do have and somebody else I'm gonna go with. I do completely agree though. Amarian Hampton was a guy who's just really kind of become, a frontliner to be a
Hmm.
possible workhorse. and especially with the big question marks with that backfield so far. But he is a guy, at least in our league in particular, I feel like is going to go a little too soon. I think somebody's going to be really high on him and nab him pretty early. I
Hmm.
just a hunch, but he's a big name and just how quickly he's leaped up, the rankings. I think that
Hmm.
he might go even too soon.
Yeah.
But how soon is too soon? He could be legit and be a
Yeah.
top five running back this year. You
Hmm.
know, but the loss of Slater, that's another thing to think about
Yeah.
too. It's a big loss with that O
Hmm.
line. So, um, a name here that this is another name where I don't know if he was a big sleeper, but now he's really come out. I have I'm going to call him Bill Krosky Merritt because he doesn't go by Jacory. Um, a lot of, I guess, insiders with that team are saying he's the best running back on the team. Austin Eckler's obviously seen his days. His, yards per
Hmm.
carry really aren't there anymore. You still have a guy like Chris Rodriguez
Hmm.
who is a good, serviceable backup. I think that's all he seems to be. And then same thing with McNichols.
Hmm.
Um, but I do think Bill Krosky Merritt, I think he's another name that's leaped forward a ton. Now with the trade of Brian Robinson
Yeah.
Jr. that we just talked about, this is just a wide open door for him to really
Hmm.
take it over. And what a hell of an offense to be a lead running back on.
Yeah.
With the Commanders, being with Jaden Daniels, and from my understanding, he's a good receiver out of the backfield. So PPR
Hmm.
formats,
That's what
he's going to be
you
out
need.
there. So
Hmm.
got Bill Krosky Merritt out there.
Yeah. But that's our top five. Like I said, there's so many other players out there. Like I say, you mentioned a lot. For me, Rashad Bateman too with the Ravens could be one of those guys
Yeah.
that could have a breakout year. Trey Harris with the Chargers. Um, you
Yep.
know, McConkey
Uh,
is the guy, but
yep.
Harris is there, and so is Keenan Allen. Back with
Yeah.
the team. So.
What do you think about Jack Betch?
I think depending on what happens, I think he could be a breakout star for
Yeah,
Las Vegas.
I think so too. You think the signing of Amari Cooper does much to affect
Uh,
it?
it does a little bit, but like I said, but be Amari Cooper will be the one, Betch will be number two. Because like I
Yeah.
say, especially if the trade happens,
Yeah.
to Myers, because that's that's why Jacoby Myers wants to go. So,
It's a
um,
bummer because he was kind of a sleeper for a lot too this year.
mhm. I had him as a good sleeper before this trade.
Yeah.
That's why. I'm curious why, and this could be a question to all our listeners here live, to all those watching. Why do you guys draft so early? Like,
Yeah.
why draft so
Yeah.
early? Because that's why I will say I think the last 8, 9 years of our 15 plus years of doing that, I think we're at 13 years actually. The last 8, 9 years, we don't draft until the end of the preseason because we
Yep.
know there's injuries, we know there's trades, we know there's requests and things happen. And, Jacoby Myers a week, 2 weeks ago, one of the top wide receivers in Las Vegas and probably was a high draft pick. And now, he wants to get traded because Amari Cooper's there. Amari Cooper's back in with the Raiders. It's not good for him. His draft, stock plummets because
Mhm.
of it.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it affects a ton. Yeah, I don't get it either. I'm not too sure why, everybody feels the need to get their drafts out of the way so
Hmm.
quickly. It's something that, let's do for a bit. Enjoy the
Hmm.
preseason, and get to
Hmm.
kind of know these players and, let injuries happen, because they are an unfortunate
Hmm.
reality of what happens every
Hmm.
preseason. There's always a decimating injury or two, and it just throws everything
Hmm.
off. An honorable mention that I feel like he didn't quite squeak into a top five for me was Ollie Gordon on the
Okay.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
A Chain's already questionable with some
Hmm.
injuries. I kind of talked a little bit about that where he's an incredible talent, but I feel like injuries could keep him,
Yeah.
out of a higher ranking in the top 10 for me.
Hmm.
But if he stays healthy, it's incredible for him. But Ollie Gordon had a good
Hmm.
preseason, and when he was at Oklahoma State, correct? He
Hmm.
he was he was a workhorse there. He led the nation in rushing, I believe, a year or two. He was a really good runner there. So just a guy to kind of keep your eye on. I'm not saying draft him, but keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
26 carries, 126 yards and a
Hmm.
touchdown, almost 5 yards to carry this preseason.
Hmm.
He's put up some good numbers. I
Yeah.
just a thought.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think the one thing I'll always, the little disclaimer for everybody listening, watching, sort of judging our top picks is we we do a 14-man league. Not many of you guys
Yeah,
do a 14-man
it's a
league.
good
You
point.
guys are all I'm not gonna say it, but a lot of 10 to 12 man. When you go 14-man league, a lot of these players get picked up quicker, so you have to have a different strategy. And a guy like Gordon will be a great pickup late for this league because you need those late bloomers, those late round
Yep.
picks.
Yeah,
So,
because if the person who drafts A chain,
mhm.
it's worth a thought. Like if he's there
Uh,
your last two rounds, Ollie Gordon,
yeah,
pick him up. It
pick 'em up.
happened where the other year I drafted CMC first overall when he was on the Panthers.
Yeah.
He got injured. I believe it was week two, three, four against the Texans, I believe that year.
Hmm.
Didn't know how long that was going to put him out for, but then Chuba Hubbard was luckily dropped on waivers by
Yeah.
Fidel. Shout out Fidel, thank you so much. And he was a good ad. He was serviceable back for a bit.
Yeah.
And look at Chuba Hubbard now; he's doing great. But it's in 14-man leagues. Looking at backups, as far down
Yeah.
as a guy like Ollie Gordon is worth your while. You
Yeah.
need handcuffs.
You do. Yeah, I think this is a big handcuff league, and then league, and like I said, that's another little trick people are starting to find out about my team. And I already gave this away last year, but it's what you have to do. You got to look at those
Yep.
handcuffs, CMC, you got to look at Robinson Jr., getting him.
Oh yeah.
If you have to get him around earlier because you just need that backup, go for it. It's gonna help
Hmm.
you in a 14 plus, in a anything higher than 12-man league. it
Definitely.
it comes in handy. I did one draft with this one league, Tim,
Okay.
with someone, so I want to go over it with you. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, at QB, I got Bo Nix,
Okay. Like it. Oh, how many people in this league?
a 10 man,
Oh, nice. Okay.
a 10-man
Yep.
league. So I picked him up pretty late. I was probably one of
Hmm.
the last. I think I was the second to last to pick up a QB. So
Oh
I
wow.
decided to
So the
go with
rest of
Bo
your team's
Nix.
going to be stacked. Okay.
Yeah, wide receiver Malik Neighbors.
Oh yeah.
And then I got my next wide receiver, Puka. So I went back to back with
Oh
them.
yeah. Great.
Yeah. Running back, I got him in the third round, Omarion Hampton.
Nice.
So I got him. And then my other starting running back as of right now, Brees Hall. I got him a lot later.
Okay. If you got them
Um,
later.
yeah. My tight end, Trey McBride, PPR machine,
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Even without the touchdowns, he'll still produce.
Even without the touchdowns. Yeah. And then who I have currently in my flex, I have Tatoria McMillan of
I like
Carolina.
him. I like
Yeah.
him. I
Yeah.
think he's going to be good this year.
Yeah. He's one I'm surprised he dropped as much in a 10 man, but like I said, with a 10 man, I was after a certain round, I was just reaching for quite a few people that I think could break out. But
Yeah.
then my bench I have Cortland Sutton. I like
Yep.
him. I think he's gonna have a great year.
I do too.
Running back, I'm regretting it a little bit. Caleb Johnson with Pittsburgh. And it sounds
Okay.
like he could be number one, but things are
Yeah.
sounding a little iffy now.
Okay.
And then I picked up your ex guy, Jordan Mason from Minnesota.
Oh yeah. Possible sleeper. Aaron Jones is getting old.
Yes, he's getting old, so he did well with San Francisco when he
He's
was
very
healthy.
good. Very good.
So, and this is a team that has a possible great QB, has one of the top two wide receivers in Jay Jetta. So,
Yep.
um, then another running back I picked up, Quinshawn Judkins. I That was a little bit of I don't think it was a reach. He was just there.
Yep.
With rumors of him not being suspended, he could be the go-to guy in Cleveland. We'll
Yeah,
see. I
definitely.
know the backup, one of the other guys in Cleveland. I can't think of his name. Samson, Dylan Sampson. He
Okay.
might be the main go-to guy there. So we'll
Got
see.
it.
Uh, I picked up one of your sleepers, Jawan Jennings.
Like it. Yep.
He was a late round pick.
Yep.
Um, Picked up Keaton Mitchell. As you know me, Tim, been
Hey.
talking a lot about him. So
Yep.
I think he'll be a good addition. Then I have Tyler Warren as a backup tight end.
Yep.
My backup QB, which I may drop just because I don't have a defense. I did decide not to pick a defense yet. Brock
Hmm.
Purdy. But I don't know if I want to
There
drop
you go.
Brock Purdy. I'm curious to see what he
Yeah.
does.
How's the waiver wire looking as far as like other QBs? Like, do you feel like you'd feel confident if you dropped Brock Purdy and then maybe
I
grabbed a positional player?
I do because I don't think many people. I think everybody just rolled with one QB.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I decided just because I had Bo Nix,
Yeah.
that's why I was sort of like, let me get a backup that I feel confident with. There's Kyler Murray, Justin Fields,
Oh,
Caleb
Kyler Murray's
Williams.
available.
hmm
Yeah. Well, I guess top
Fields.
10, everybody's
uh,
taking one. Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan Love still there. McCarthy still there.
Wow.
CJ Stroud still there.
Holy
Bryce
smokes.
Young, Michael Penix. Like I said, it's a 10-man league. Geno Smith. So I know if I drop Purdy, I know if I need someone, I'll be able to pick someone up.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Definitely.
and like I say, Tyler Warren was just there late, so I think McBride's the guy, but bye week that'll help me. And who knows, Tyler
Yeah.
Warren may be the guy in Indianapolis for me.
Yeah. Um, if the pod, everybody who listens to the pod does not know, I I I'm a half owner of the Mighty Pineapples. And I feel like, if I'm more of an outside consultant, assistant to the regional manager, as we said last week.
Yes.
And it's one of those things where, John's doing a lot of mock drafts, research. I've done, a bit
hmm
obviously in order to fill out these rankings, and if there's any, spot worth consultation, I'm available.
Yeah.
But because you've done, mock drafts, you've already been involved in
hmm
a draft, John, is there any player that you feel like has been picked far too soon consistently that you're like, man, he shouldn't
Um,
go that high?
who was it? Let me see if I can see what the draft was. Draft
Okay.
results. Um,
It always changes every year, and it feels like, everybody gets super hyped on a guy that comes
yeah.
out of nowhere and he just goes way too soon.
So one guy that was picked up a little too soon for me, round two, Chase Brown. He was the first pick in round
Okay.
two. He was on the back to back when, you know, there was still Puka, Stephon, Amon-Ra, Nico, Ashton Genty, AJ Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Kyron. So he went for me at least went a little too early. Or there was another player I think I was like and like I said, this is a 10-man league. I'm barely learning this league. It's my second year with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Someone picked up Jalen Hurts in round five. That's threw me off. And then, like I
Jalen
said,
Hurts. Yeah.
yeah. And then and like I said, this is a Cowboys fan. Dak Prescott, round five.
Oh. Oh man.
So,
Hey, do I have CD to compliment?
yeah, I think they did
Oh
get
yeah,
CeeDee
see,
Lamb
there's
as
the
well.
tandem. There's the tandem.
Yeah,
Got to do it.
yeah.
But
Or
round
no,
five.
actually, they didn't get
Oh, they
CD.
didn't. Oh
No,
boy. Oh,
they got Javonte Williams.
God, give me like CJ Stroud. Give me half of your waiver wire over Dak. Good Lord. It's gonna be a pick machine.
Yeah. Um, what
So
who was
inconsistent.
who was one that also went up a little earlier? There
Sorry.
were quite a few.
Pineapple Dub Squad is the
Yeah.
team name, not Bunny
So it's the new
Pineapples
it's the
anymore.
new
Correction.
the new team name.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Yeah. Um, I liked where Ricky Pearsall fell. He fell to 8. I was
I like
wanting to
that.
get him on that return, but I wasn't
Yeah,
able to.
I think he's worth a sleeper mention,
Hmm.
honorable mention. I do think with again with Ayuk out,
Yeah.
no more Debo, he's a good viable option.
Yeah. And then Cooper Cup, he went in round 9 in this league.
Whoa.
I'm surprised. I
Dang.
would have expected him just because of the name, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Bo Nix, I picked up in round 10. Like I said, I just needed a quarterback.
Bo Nix that late though. I mean,
Yeah.
he's arguably dual threat,
Yeah.
right? He's had some big runs
Yeah.
and he can compile points.
Yeah. So there were a lot. Chris Olave going in round 11. That one surprised me. So I'm curious if he'll drop in ours as well.
Yeah, I think just the injury, right?
Hmm.
And then Spencer Rattler named starting QB there now.
Yeah.
That's probably their best choice, sad to say.
Yeah.
But it's just so questionable with consistency. Oh, where's Alvin Kamara going? Speaking of the Saints.
Kamara in this one went, let me see. Is it end of round 4? So
Yeah. Do you
pick
feel
number
like he's
40.
a name that could be going far too soon just for the
I
questionability?
I think so, just because of age,
Yep.
because of the team. They're going to be playing from behind, but
Yep.
in PPR leagues, he might be getting those catches. Like I said, because he is that
Yeah.
sure hands. But the one concern I would have with him is injury, because like I say, he's older. He's been injured a lot more the last few years.
Yeah.
So, um,
Taysom Hill still on that team?
I think so. I think he's
Touchdown
still there.
vulture.
Yeah.
He can vulture from Kamara like nobody's
Hmm.
business. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a decent draft. Like I say, it's I think I texted you. I think I was talking to Vera. I was like, it's so much different a 10-man league compared to a 14-man league where
Oh
that's
yeah.
where I'm programmed. I'm programmed for a 14-man league, So when people go, I'm like, wait, already? But I'm like, Terry McLaurin went the first pick in round 5. For us, it's going to be like round 3 because of the 14
Yeah.
men, so it's sort of
Yep.
going to look a little different.
And
But
that's what I mentioned with Omari and Hampton. I feel like just our league, just
mhm.
knowing how it is, our
It's-
league knows to go RB heavy. And I
yeah,
feel like Omari Hampton's going to be a guy that could be going really quick.
yeah, yeah. So I got him at the 29th pick, for a
Yeah.
14-man league. That's first pick in the third round, where I got him at the end of the third.
Yep.
So, but like I say, because if we go RB heavy as a league, you're gonna have to pick him up in the second round, early second, just because there's nobody else out there unless you're gonna decide to go wide receiver heavy and then try to find a gem and sort of
Yep.
do a little trade scandal, some collusion, with
Draft
someone.
day trades. Gotta love it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to our draft this weekend. We're doing it in person this year, so that's fun hanging out
Yeah.
with everybody.
Love
But
that.
let us know what your guys' sleepers are. Let us know what you guys think of our sleeper picks. If you want to share your guys' teams, we'll let you know.
Hmm.
And something we're gonna do every week probably too. I'll try to get these shows out a lot sooner to you guys, but trying to get it out before waiver wire pickups. We'll give you our suggestions when we record this Monday,
Yeah.
or maybe just a clip of it of what we think for waiver wire picks. So if you guys want to roll with us, we'll give you guys our thoughts and ideas because, like I say, we're co-owners of our team and we're last year champs and we're going back for that championship again.
Yeah, totally. I feel like a student just taking notes,
Yeah.
learning from the five-time champ. But yeah, no, waiver wire pickups every week. It's going to be great, coming in with that info. I personally, as a viewer of other shows,
Mhm.
love watching content like that, especially
Mhm.
during fantasy football season, because that's all everybody thinks about. Let's be real.
Yeah.
During NFL season, everybody's just glued to fantasy.
Yeah.
So I love the fantasy content. Think it's great. Sorry, final question here for you,
Hmm.
John. First overall pick. Are you going Jamar Chase or Bijan Robinson? It's been a big question lately, I feel like.
Oh man.
Do you go wide receiver first or you go Jamar?
So because
Or
of
I
our
mean,
league,
Bijan. Mhm.
because of our league, I go Bajan. Like if I
Yeah.
was number one, I'd go Bajan. Nothing against like it's such a toss up, but because with the 14-man league, knowing I'm not gonna get anything till pick 28, and after that, it's either I have to go best wide receiver or start picking Omarion Hampton. Like I said, that's a late second rounder. That could be my league winner right there. Or because then if you don't pick at 28, that's 32, which
Yep.
the next wide receiver, like in this league that was picked up, Joe Mixon. And look at the
Yeah.
talent from Hampton to Mixon, who's not even playing.
Oof.
Travion Henderson, not a starter yet, could be a
Yeah.
starter. James Conner, injury prone.
Yep.
Brees Hall, is he going to be started the whole year? Chuba Hubbard, J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, like it's all these unknowns that might lose you the league having that type of running back. So,
Yeah. That's such a big drop off. I had the same thought. I think you just go running back
mhm,
right off the bat. Bijan's gonna have a great year. He played even better with
mhm,
Penix at
yeah,
QB. Um, so yeah, I was just curious. It kind of garnered a lot of attention.
yeah,
Schefter said without a doubt he'd go Bijan 10 out of
mhm,
10 times,
yeah.
pretty much. So
Yeah, I think the way that our league is, Bijan, his PPR ability, and what he is going to get now with Penix under center that team. Bijan, I think will most likely be the number one or right behind Jahmyr Gibbs and CMC.
yep, yep. I like it. Got to go running backs.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our fantasy football corner. Like we mentioned, we'll always be talking fantasy here. So let us know your questions. Even if it's 2 weeks later on whatever clips post we do, let us know your questions. We'll always chit chat, let you know our
Yeah.
thoughts, give you our takes. Um, but next, I want to do an activity before we maybe touch on this subject, or no, let's touch on the subject actually first, and then if we have time, we'll do the activity.
Okay.
If not, I can do that next week. AI talk. We want to do some AI talk because we do a lot of AI. We do a lot of science. Chat GBT. We've already said it. They're our friends. If they take over the world, I think they're going to use us as some helpers before they destroy us. Um,
Yeah.
but
Hope so.
Will Smith this past week shared a clip, and there's a lot of controversy with the AI. And I guess just to get your thoughts, Tim, what are your thoughts on it? And why are some of these big entertainment people, stars, using AI in this way?
It's right off the bat super cringy in my opinion. You know, uh, like I've been messaging you lately. I think I sent like 3, 4 clips in total of just
Yeah.
different views of it. People kind of dicing it up, analyzing it. It's just like, what are you doing? What are you
Hmm.
doing with this? It's so obvious. From the signs to the way that the faces
Hmm.
look really glossy and perfect, and then you see them like morphed in the background. And people zooming in on it, like in the comment section, being able to like zoom in on somebody's morphed face and then post that in the comments, it just cracks me up. It's great. It's great, funny content. I think when it comes to somebody like Will Smith, obviously he's been a face of controversy, with
Hmm.
the awards where he slaps Chris Rock across the
Yeah.
face. He's making a comeback, I guess, with music, or this is kind of like
Hmm.
an announcement for a start of a tour. And quite frankly, I don't even know what footage they're trying to make up that he even
Hmm.
has from a recent performance. He looks in the video, he looks the age he is now, and it's like, what performance was that? Maybe I'm missing
Yeah.
something, but I wasn't aware of any big performance that he had. And then, just from the sign saying like, hey, your song saved my life. It's like, man, I remember Will Smith music being like Wild Wild West,
Yeah.
theme song,
Yeah.
like Men in Black,
Yeah. But how did getting jiggy with it save your life? Did you get jiggy with it right after? And you're like, all right, I'm good. Like,
A dark place.
Oh yeah, getting jiggy with it got me out of that hole. I
Bum,
was
bum, 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 bum.
yeah.
Oh, it's so good. But just the signs, and then just the various ages of people in the audience. You saw kiddos
Hmm.
to people that could be grandparents, and it's like, man, like the grandparents are in on Will Smith music.
Yeah.
Like, are
Yeah.
they? You know?
Or even at that concert in like the mosh area. Like I would
Yeah,
pick
right.
like if I
Uh-huh.
would picture a grandparent maybe in the box suites, enjoying it from
Yeah.
a distance, not like being crushed up along a fence almost.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
no.
It's just so
Uh,
off. I didn't get it. Super cringeworthy.
uh,
Uh, Getting news for all the wrong reasons so far,
yeah.
honestly.
Y- Yeah, it was crazy when you sent it to me and then it just started popping up on my feed and looking at a lot of it like who who let that get through? You know, who in Will Smith's publicist team did this, decided to use AI to sort of try to sell more tickets and make it seem relevant? Like I do think it could sell out just because it's Will Smith, but it's like you don't have to go that extreme and also I know AI listens to everything we say, but why trust AI so much at the moment when there's still a lot of kinks that need to be fixed, you know?
Hmm.
We've seen it with everything. AI, when you do images like that, it'll show the two, three people you're asking to create a picture about perfectly, but everybody else in the background just looks deformed, you know? So it's like, why even decide to use that? You know, why
Hmm.
not double check the work you do before you post it out to the public? Because the way the internet works now, it's like you need to be sure that you're posting something pretty decent out there when you're that big of a star, or else it's going to destroy you. So
Yeah, right.
I think it's baffling seeing the younger kids like kudos if that kid is actually a real kid and your parents shared the old school Will Smith songs because like I said, Getting Jiggy with It, Fresh Prince, Men in Black, great songs. Like I say, nothing
Uh,
against them. I enjoy them. You know, I do remember every time I hear them at the club. You know, when I would go to the clubs, I haven't been there in a while, but they were songs I enjoyed. You know, listening to and just hanging out. You know, but I don't think Keanu knows any Will Smith songs at the moment, and I don't think he'll ever hear that because there's a lot of other songs I'll probably play for him before Getting Jiggy with It or Men in Black, unless I show him the
right.
movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like the only way a lot of like these new generations are going to get absorb Will Smith music is through his movies.
Yeah.
Like the Wild Wild West song, Get Jiggy with It, Men in Black, you
Yeah.
name it. It's just the way to absorb his music. But First Prince of Bel-Air theme song, right? He had
Hmm.
his part of that. Um, but that's really it. But it's just I don't know, I'm getting like secondhand embarrassment from it. Quite frankly, which is crazy that, his team has probably paid a good sum of
Hmm.
money to do this stuff. And it looks really lazy. But, for
Yeah.
example, this past weekend, we made birthday party invites for our kiddos while we're
Hmm.
down there visiting LA to be around family and friends. And we generated that invite through
I
ChatGPT.
saw
But
it.
yeah, that ain't a sketch.
Yeah.
But whenever I do that, I always look into like the background and the effects of it to be like, what is this random demonic looking person doing here? Because I don't know what AI is going to throw in there.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in the bad way, AI. You're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know, but like if I'm checking my kid's invite for stuff like
Yeah.
that, and you're not checking some huge media announcement of Will Smith's
Hmm.
tour, I mean, are you dodging a slap? Yes. You know, who released this?
Yeah, the whoever released it might have gotten the Chris Rock treatment from that because that's
Yep.
not a great look. And like I say, to promote something, you have to be very careful how you use AI. I think the way
Yeah.
we've used AI with our podcast is more to make pictures, generate pictures of what we discuss, some of
Yep.
the comedic aspect to it, some of sort of putting us in a situation just for that thumbnail, us in Battlefield, us running away from monsters when we were having that long horror discussion. The this week's episode, we're gonna create something depending on what we discuss. Probably an AI image if we decide to do that. But it's like we know it's AI. It's not us trying to be like, oh, look at all our fans outside of our while we're driving, and it's all these, demonic people, messed up looking people trying to make it seem like we're that big. We're growing. We're trying to get there. But
Hmm.
we're only going to show really what it actually is.
Right. And then, kind of follow-up question to this, John. If they're creating subpar AI images for this tour, is this tour even worth having if you're having to go and generate AI to create bigger audiences?
No, I don't think so. If they sell tickets for $20, I'll go, but anything above that,
Yeah.
and that's $20 with fees and everything Ticketmaster charges.
Right. And this might sound really harsh to Will Smith. I mean, I've been a fan of his work. I enjoy
Hmm.
Will Smith on the screen, stuff like that. But like, you know, in this day and age, like it almost seems like Will Smith is like, this could sound really harsh, like a somebody you'd see at a fair. Like if I'm going to the Ventura County Fair, there's some big names that perform there. I think Fat Joe was one of them.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's where I think I'd see Will
Hmm.
Smith not selling out the Rose Bowl or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that from him just because, and like I said, he hasn't been in music for so long. Why make this comeback this way?
Right.
Just because you think you have the biggest name in the world, like your name's related to movies more, TV shows, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and controversy. That's what your
Yep.
name's related to. Nobody really remembers your songs as much unless you were born during that time or really enjoyed the movies, like you
Yep.
mentioned, you know. So, yeah, I would expect them to see him at SeaWorld, when I was there this past weekend,
Perfect
those summer
example.
concerts. I think that's a good place for him to sort of make that comeback, sort of see what the response was at an event like that. And then if it was great, all right, let's see what else we could do and maybe get close to a world tour where, like I say, nothing against those performers that were at SeaWorld, but that one time it was like Lil Bow Wow. Lil Bow Wow, I don't think he could sell out concerts, but he could sell something like this out and sort of make a name for himself and start making new music and make that comeback. Paul Wall was there. Um, Fat Joe was booed out because just get out of here, man. You're just not a
Yeah.
fan. Nobody in Cali likes you
No.
as much anymore. So I apologize for that, but hey, Mets thought they had some, or was it the Mets that did it? Or no, it was the
Uh,
Yankees.
Yankees. Yeah.
Yankees thought
World
it was
Series.
gonna thought they were gonna make a difference. No, you ain't Ice Cube, man.
Oh,
So
dude, nowhere close. Yeah.
nowhere close. But like that's where, yeah, I would expect Will Smith to sort of do that, see what the response is. If it's great, all right, how can we one up it and see if
Knott's
we
Berry
still get
Farm.
Knott's Berry Farm, the OC Fair, LA County
Yeah.
Fair,
Yep.
and then it's like, okay, maybe
I
we're
love
making a
it.
comeback, maybe let's do Coachella, not the big main
There
stage,
you
but
go.
one of the other bigger stages
Yep.
like T-Pain did, where T-Pain was probably the most talked about artist, and he wasn't one of the main stages at the main times.
Right.
So it's like, how can Will Smith sort of get back up if he wants to dabble into music again?
Definitely. Definitely. No, I think the SeaWorld idea is fantastic. Didn't Yin Yang twins perform not
Yeah,
too long ago? They were great.
they
Great
were great.
flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Love that.
Yeah.
There's no shame in it because the turnout's great. And the people who want to see your music
Hmm.
go, the
Yeah.
crowd gets really into it
Hmm.
versus like, you're performing to a crowd that isn't
Hmm.
enthused.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I've never the, just going back to this whole Will Smith thing with the AI signs. It's like I don't want to take it away. If those are real signs, great, glad it's
Hmm.
meaningful to your life.
Yeah.
But if it's AI generated signs as well,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
some of them were kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know?
No, some of them were funny
Oh,
where I couldn't really picture that they were actually real, but like you say,
right.
if they were real, I do apologize for making fun of it if it really brought you out of a dark space.
Yeah,
But
sure. Could be it.
you
Yeah.
know, if that's the case, but like a lot of the evidence sh is showing that it might not be. So if it isn't, what are you doing, Will Smith? What are you doing, team? You
Yeah.
know, and if it is real, well, I'm glad Will Smith is still making an impact on people.
For sure. And shout out AI. You're doing your
Yeah.
best. You're
Yeah.
doing your best to try to revive a guy who's
Hmm.
been out of music for a while.
Yeah.
You did your best.
Yeah. No, yeah. So, but yeah, some AI talk anytime anything AI related pops up in the news, entertainment, anywhere, we like to discuss it because like I say, we're
Hmm.
big fans of AI, what it's doing, how it's developing, and we talk about it not just between ourselves with a lot of our buddies. So,
Hmm.
we'll continue talking about it, but yeah, that's this week's episode. Like I said, we're always I feel like we're always running out of time and there's so much to do, so much to talk about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's fun times, but as always, we're building something here with Banter on the Rocks. So we thank everybody that's joined us, throughout this last year, even if it's just for a few episodes, liking our clips, watching our clips on our socials. Thank you. Hopefully you guys have hit that subscribe button, joined on YouTube, join us, Apple Podcast, Spotify as well, listening to us on your car ride home, download it. Great, great time, and like I said, banter with us in the car. You can yell at us while you're in the car and then comment on what you yelled at on your
Oh,
drive
for
home.
sure. Yeah, no, definitely. It gotta love it. If you could record yourself doing it, it would be even funnier. Stitch us in one of our videos that we
Yeah.
put out. Be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Tim, your sleepers suck. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's what we're
Yeah.
here for. We love it. We love the banter.
Hmm.
And most of all, obviously, this is a dream career for John and I. That's why we're
Hmm.
so consistent with this. It's becoming a full-time job with a full-time job, being
Yeah.
fathers as well. And next step would be making this podcast 2 days a week. Hopefully we
Yeah.
reach that point, sooner than later, but clearly we have a lot to talk about
Hmm.
and we really enjoy the conversations we have, even
Yeah.
on days when we're not recording. So thank
Yeah.
you everybody for, watching and giving your
Hmm.
input always.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll let you guys know how our draft is. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see you guys next week and get prepped for football.
Peace.